And so Ryuga, as he went along, he 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 was a lone wolf from after Jenga defeated him in Battle Bladers, and he just went on his own path. He was a lone wolf, and even though he was consumed by the dark power, he never gave up on himself. And that is one thing I commend Ryuga for not doing. He never gave up on himself in his life. Even after he got consumed by the dark power that his babe possessed, he never gave up. And as a result of him never giving up, he evolved his Beyblade, which was Lightning L-drago. He turned it into Meteor L-drago in Metal Masters. I guess he went through some training in the volcanoes, and he evolved from Lightning L-drago to Meteor L-drago. So this evolution alone showed his perseverance. It showed that even though he was on a journey by himself, he never gave up on himself. No matter what obstacles came in his way, he never gave up and he overcame his obstacles. So just like Ryuga, you guys need to learn how to overcome your obstacles in life. Don't let anything stop you. You might have a dark power that tried to consume you like Ryuga. You might have evil trying to consume you, but you cannot let that prevail because it's not going to end well, right? Ryuga pushed forward even when things were tough for him. Ryuga was, some people call him the GOAT of Beyblade, and I think he really was because he went through training that none of the other bladers went through. He had his own hardships. He went through more than the average blader did. So he really stood out. And I can really relate to this in my own life because there are certain struggles that I went through that other people did not go through. And I'm not saying that I'm any better of a person, but it just so what Ryuga went through, he had struggles that made him stand out. And so did I. Personally, in my life, I've had struggles in my life that made me stand out from the crowd or your everyday person, you know? And I think that is the exact thing that made him memorable. He went through struggles that no one dared to go through. Walking in the wild to get stronger, going to the volcano to get stronger. Like none of the other bladers were willing to do that thing that Ryuga did. And that's what made him so powerful. Internally, he was very strong because he had his own set of struggles that he went through. And perhaps that's why he was one of the strongest bladers to ever exist. So I'm here to tell you guys that just because you're struggling with something, don't let those struggles consume you. Be like Ryuga. He overcame his struggles in life. He overcame what others thought he couldn't do. A lot of people didn't like Ryuga, but one thing that I give him is that he never gave up. He was on his purpose always. He didn't get distracted. I'd say that personally I can relate to Ryuga. That we had our own struggles. A lot of times we had to be lone wolves in our lives because others didn't or weren't open to accept us for who we were. So we were forced to go our own path. And I commend Ryuga for going his own path and being strong internally to never give up. And even toward the end, before he presumably died, you know, he evolved his Medio L-drago into L-drago Destructor. And he kept getting stronger. He kept advancing, even to his last breath. And even when Kenta had went along with Ryuga in his journey, like, and then toward the end of his life, when he fought Rago and Nemesis and lost, and then then him giving up his power to Kenta, that showed me that he grew as a person. You know, he not only helped someone else grow, but he had, personal growth himself right before he passed away. So I'm here to tell y'all that never stop growing in life and never stop giving up, because that is the one thing Ryuga never did. He never gave up, even to his last breath. He didn't give up. You know, he might have lost a few battles, but he never gave up. Even after he lost against Jenga, he kept moving forward. Even after he lost against Nemesis and Rago, he kept moving forward. Because after he was defeated by Rago, he gave his power to a friend, which means that he had the perseverance to never give up. He never gave up no matter what. And that is one thing I commend Ryuga on. I commend him by him never giving up in life. And I encourage you guys to never give up like Ryuga. No matter what situation he was in, he always found a way to win. He always found a way. He always did. He never gave up on himself. And he believed in other people. And that's what you do when you become strong. You not only get stronger yourself, but you help other people get strong. And that's the type of strength and resilience that Ryuga displayed. He strengthened himself, but he also strengthened another person in exchange for his life. Ryuga was that guy. Let's say Ryuga was that guy that got strong and entrusted his strength to someone else. And that is what you do. And that is how you grow. He had struggles nobody else had, but that's also what made him the strongest blader out of the group. Out of Jenga, Kyoya, Kenta, that's what made him the strongest. That's what made him the strongest. Because he went through training no one else did. He got betrayed by Doji, the person that was with him at the beginning in Metal Fusion. And Doji was an antagonist in Metal Fusion as well. So he was betrayed by Doji, and Doji ended up supporting Nemesis instead of L-drago, instead of Ryuga. So Doji was a traitor, and Ryuga just he kept fighting even when the one person that was with him before switched up on him. And this is something that a lot of us have probably been through. We probably had people that switched up on us. When we started getting successful or when we lost something, I'm sorry, y'all, my screen is bad. Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna exit this out. But whenever we lost something, right? Whenever we didn't win or things didn't go out, people switched up on us. They say, "Oh, he's not gonna be nothing. Ah, he's not this. Ah, he's not that." But I'm here to tell y'all that no matter what happens in life, be resilient like Ryuga. Ryuga showed what real strength is. He had his own struggles, but he showed each and every single one of us. He showed all the people that loved Beyblade in real life what true strength was. And that is one thing that I commend Ryuga on. He never gave up. He persevered. He pushed himself past his limits. And then he went on to entrust his power to someone else. That is, I don't know, that's strong. Y'all, that is the definition of strength. His life was a definition of strength. So I just want to give this story and biography about Ryuga today. And thank you guys for watching and have a great day, everybody. Never give up on yourself because if you give up on yourself, you never know where you could go. You will never find out your potential if you give up on yourself. So be like Ryuga, guys, and never give up on yourself and go after your greatness and go what you're destined to be in life. Peace.